food in the street and broke it. The guy's a menace to her sister, to her family, and he needs to pay her for a new phone because he destroyed hers. She's suing for $499.99, the cost of a new droid. This is the defendant, Anwar. He says the plaintiff's one of those people who lives for involving themselves in other people's business. He admits to throwing the plaintiff's phone in the middle of a heated argument, but it didn't break. She even texted him from it and is just trying to get a new phone out of him with this lawsuit. He's accused of phoning it in.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
So he turns around, takes his fingers, and pokes my sister in her shoulder like this and saying, "Get out, move back." He said, "You see that? I'm poking your sister, and what? I'm touching your sister, and what?" I said, what is wrong with you?" So I'm pushing his arm, and then he pushes my hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff says the defendant, the father of her sister's 2 kids, had a fit and broke her Android. But the defendant says the phone didn't break. It's the case of Android rage.
Sophia Ramos, you are suing Anwar. You've asked not to mention your last name. We'll respect that. Okay, it was $100. You upped it to $499?
Yes.
For $499, a cost of to replace a Droid Max phone that, according to you, he destroyed. Tell me what happened.
Your Honor, on October 6, 2014, on Monday night between 10 p.m. and midnight, my sister and I was moving her clothes and everything, all her belongings, to her new apartment. Being as though her and my sister's baby's father, Anwar, has been in a relationship for the last 10 years, on and off again, with him abusing her verbally and mentally and physically, I'm always there for her, helping her move her stuff, helping her intervene with arguments, and she's always looking at me towards guidance and everything. I helped her move.
Who's older?
I'm older. I'm 2 years older than her. I helped her move from where she was living next door.
Do they have children together?
They do. Yes, they do.
How many?
2. A 10-year-old and a 4-year-old.
Right.
So we're moving back and forth.
Had they broken up?
They've been broken up for years.
For years?
Yes. My sister basically been his provider, buying him stuff, taking care of him, giving him money.
Up, why does she provide for him?
Because she said that she felt sorry for him because he had no family members not to help him out with personal belongings or just in general buying him stuff. She said there was nobody never there for him.
What evidence do you have that there was domestic violence between them?
For years of just being there for my sister, it was always an argument, and she's calling me and letting me know, even when I didn't live around here, I lived in the Poconos. "Oh, Sophia, he hit me, he pushed me down." Oh, I said, why don't you involve the cops? Why don't you do this? You need to involve the cops. She always was telling me, oh, she don't want to involve the cops because it's going to be a long hearing process with his word against her word.
And then she'd go back with him?
Yes, she'll still be living with him.
All right, so you're helping her move, and what happens?
She decided to tell me that she wanted to take her car and my car to just transfer the products back and forth. During this time, our third drop off to where she lives now, he pulled up with his mother. Pulled up at the same time we got out of the car.
You said earlier that your sister, is your sister here?
No, she's at work.
Do you have an affidavit from her or anything, or she just wants to stay clear of this?
No, she wanted to be involved, but she's at work.
She doesn't give you a statement?
No.
Because it didn't occur to you, or?
I should have got one.
Oh, that's right. All right, I just want to know if it didn't occur to you, or. So he shows up, and what happens?
He shows up, he runs past me, pushes past my sister up the steps, and busts through the door when she has the key into the door to go inside the house. Next thing I know, he goes up the top of the steps and starts throwing her clothes out of the bag, out of the boxes, and goes into the room to see where his sons are, where my nephews are, and sees that they're asleep. So he keeps hollering at us saying, "I want my clothes, I want my glasses, I want my inhaler, I want my work shirt, I want my car back. You stealing all my stuff. Where is my car at?" And my sister verbally telling him, like, "This is not your, I don't have none of your stuff." So then my sister, he's throwing stuff out of the box and out of the bags, and my sister is constantly telling him to leave her stuff alone. She pushes his arm back, and he slides all over the floor. So I'm like, "Fiona, stop, leave him alone, let him throw it out because I'm calling the cops. They're going to see what he did." And he pushes past me and her and goes to the top of the steps saying, "Call the cops. I'll call the cops. I don't care." And he calls the cops, I'm calling the cops, and he's not going anywhere out the house. He goes down a few steps and then grabs onto the railing and saying that he's not going anywhere, and we're not pushing him out, and don't touch him. I said, "Don't touch you, nobody's touching you. Don't get in between my sister and don't touch my sister." So he turns around, takes his fingers and pokes my sister in her shoulder like this and saying, "Get out, move back." He said, "You see that? I'm poking your sister, and what? I'm touching your sister, and what?" I said, what is wrong with you?" So I'm pushing his arm, and then he pushes my hand, snatched my phone out, runs down the steps, and I'm tussling with him to get my phone back. My sister grabbing him, he grabs my sister, and we're going down the steps tussling, out the door, down the steps. So he pushes me off of him, and he takes my phone and throws it in the middle of Roosevelt Boulevard across the street. Traffic is coming both ways. You got 2 lanes. And then while I'm looking at it flying in the air, I run after it. No cars coming, so I pick it up. I'm coming back across the street. He's telling going like this to my sister like he's about to hit her, and my sister just backing up like she don't want to get hit because she's been getting hit for years. That's all I know. And so I get back across the street, and he goes, what's she going to do? What he's going to do? Because he see my husband in the car.
That's your husband?
Yes.
That's your husband. And,
yes.
and she sees your husband in the car. Why is your husband in the car?
Because from years of them having confrontational.
Come on up, husband.
We all lived together.
Come on up.
We all lived together at one time at my mom's house. Yes.
Okay.
I told him to stay in the car because if he would have got out and if we'd have saw us tussling, then it would have been another whole different ballgame of fighting.
How do you stay in the car?
He listens to what I told him to do.
No, stop talking.
Okay.
Can he talk for himself, or you want to just pull the strings behind? How do you stay in the car when something like this is going on?
Whose case is phony? We'll find out as the testimony continues.
I didn't say nothing about her deserving.
Really? Hold on. Oh, no, actually, what you said was way worse. If she minded her own business and stopped trying to cause trouble, I wouldn't have touched her phone to begin with. That means like she has it coming. But then you said she's just trying to sabotage me and cause drama because I believe she has feelings for me.
The plaintiff is accusing the father of her sister's kid of throwing a tantrum and breaking her phone. Let's listen.
I didn't really want to come out of the car because it's just going to be a nasty little fighting, pretty much physical. The first time
But your wife is in there.
Well, basically, her and her sister has been having this argument for a long time. I defended her sister before, and her sister's not learning a lesson. All she got to do is take it to family court.
Oh, I understand why you wouldn't come to the aid of the sister. I'm worried about your wife, though. That's what I'm talking about, because you don't know if he's going to punch your wife out.
Well, he didn't touch her.
Yeah, as it turns out, all he did was throw her phone in the street.
Yeah, if he would have punched her,
which I'll get your side in a moment, but...
If he would have punched her, I would have got out of the car and beat him up myself.
Beat me.
You know.
You have some problem?
Nothing.
I would beat him myself if he touches my wife. But there's no physical contact. There was just pushing, tussling. Yeah, fine. But if he would have touched my...
How do you know? Don't you? Isn't it too late if you're sitting in the car instead of there?
Basically, I'm just going to beat him out of rage.
Let me tell you something, honey. I hear you when you say you told him to stay there, but I don't think my husband would stay there. But in any event...
Because in the past, when we all lived together, it was a lot of confrontational where they were about to fight, face to face in the kitchen, upstairs on the second floor.
All right, so you just thought that it would be worse. So in any event, he throws your phone, you go into the street. Is your husband watching you run into the street now?
Yes, he saw me.
And he doesn't get out of the car?
No.
Okay, and then what happens?
I went back across the street. He was in my sister's face with some finger pointing.
Had anybody successfully called the police at this point?
Well, by the time I got across the street and with the finger pointing was all, her sitting hollering and screaming, the cops put around the corner. A female officer arrived, took our statements, and the officer, didn't see any bruises on me, but she just told us to go to small claims court.
Okay.
Filed my hearing.
What's going on, Anwar? Tell me what happened.
Honestly, I don't know what I could say to contend with that load of stuff she just said.
Well, why don't you tell me your side of what the truth is? That would be a good thing that you could say.
Okay, well, she's the type of person that's always involving herself in everybody else's affairs, especially me and her sisters. She claims up and down that me and her sister...
Have you ever hit her sister?
We've been in physical altercation before, yes.
Okay.
But she has initiated a lot of it. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you it was all me. I'm not going to tell you it was all her. It's been mutual. I've got a broken nose because she punched me in the nose once. I'm not going to sit here and justify it.
So you show up there. Why do you show up there?
Earlier that day, I started a job. I started working earlier that day. The car is in both of our names. Mine and hers, but the insurance is in my name. Now, for some strange reason or another, her sister decides to want to get into an argument with me behind something that had nothing to do with the car. She comes and she takes the car.
When did she take the car?
Earlier that afternoon before the thing with us.
So you go to the apartment where you know she's going to be to try to get the car back.
Right, because I had my stuff from orientation.
Tell me what happens when you two start arguing out there. What is it about?
Because the fact that she's minding other people's business. That's what my argument with her is. I asked her to stay out of this because it has nothing to do with her.
Okay. And
Now,
she feels it does because it's her sister.
Okay,
so
that's
she
what I'm
takes
good.
her
That's her
phone and
sister.
she starts to call the police on her phone. And
Right.
what do?
I grabbed the phone and I threw it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie about
And
that.
you threw it?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm not going to lie to you. I did.
And so what's your defense?
My defense is that if she was minding her business to begin with, I wouldn't have threw her phone. Listen, Judge,
So
I'm not trying to sound like a tough
your
guy.
defense,
I'm
if
not
she
trying to
had it coming?
I'm not going to say that at all, no.
Because that's what a batterer would say. I spent many years in
I don't
domestic
batter
violence
nobody, Your
court.
Honor. She can't sit here and
So
tell
if
you
you
that I put
could
my
just
hands on
mind
her.
your own business, it wouldn't have happened. So you had it coming.
Oh, wow.
That's basically what you're saying.
He's not gonna put my sister in the grave. I'm telling you that. I'm telling you that right now.
You go, girl. That's
He's
right.
not going to touch my
That's
sister
right.
again.
That's right.
And if he's 100 feet of my property, he will be in jail.
That's
again.
Right. That's right.
Car scam?
You come here, your car breaks down, and you're suing them to pay for your car.
If they didn't have me come here, my car would have broke down in Long Island because I don't go out of Long Island.
This is ridiculous.
Next, People's Court.
So, does one family member have a right to get involved in the life of another family member, an adult, if that one family member thinks the other person isn't living correctly?
No, not if they're of age.
Well, okay, they may be of age, but they may also be on a bad path.
I mean, no, because every family has its own responsibility. Unless if I know that person.
Well, you know the person because it's a family member, right?
Yeah, I would just advise him.
You advise him, but you don't